All right, so today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, and that's the world of Taoism. And let me tell you, we're not just scratching the surface here, we're going deep, deep down. Our guide for this deep dive is this article called What is Tao? Understand its influence in Chinese culture.
And this is not just some, ancient philosophy gathering dust on a shelf somewhere.
Right, this is about finding balance, understanding how the universe works, and get this, figuring out how it all still applies to us today.
It's really interesting how the article describes Taoism as both a philosophy and a religion.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an ancient Chinese system of thought, been around for centuries.
Yeah, and it's not about like a bunch of strict rules and doctrines, right? It's more
Right.
about like going with the flow, which honestly my type A personality kind of struggles with.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of Taoism, right?
Yeah.
It encourages you to embrace the natural order of the universe, to move with it, not against it.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, I think we got to start with understanding Tao. Like, what is that?
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
it feels like that's at the very core of everything we're talking about.
Yeah, so the word Tao itself is often translated as the way,
Okay.
but it's honestly so much more than just a path. Like, imagine the underlying principle of the entire universe, the laws of nature, the unseen force that governs how everything interacts, from the tiniest little atom to the largest galaxy.
Whoa. Okay. I'm already getting chills just thinking about that.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. It is like this invisible force that connects everything.
It is. And what's really cool? Even with all our modern scientific understanding, this concept of Tao still resonates.
Yeah.
Think about the laws of physics, the balance of ecosystems. These are all expressions of the Tao, even if we don't always think about it that way.
That's so true. So understanding the Tao isn't just some abstract philosophy then. It's like, it's about understanding how everything fits together, including us.
Exactly. And one of the most, I think, fundamental concepts in Taoism,
Yeah.
one that really helps us grasp this interconnectedness, is this idea of yin and yang.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, the whole opposites attract thing. But like on a cosmic level?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yin and yang, think of it like two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other.
Right, right.
Light and darkness, day and night, even like the ebb and flow of the tides, these aren't separate forces battling it out. They're complementary aspects of the same underlying energy.
So it's not about one being better than the other, but about finding that balance between them.
Exactly. It's about the interplay. Like think about a battery. You've got the positive and the negative terminals.
Right.
Neither one's inherently better than the other, but it's the flow between them that creates energy.
Oh, okay.
That's yin and yang.
Gotcha. Okay, so how does this yin and yang, how does this relate to us, to like how we actually live our lives? Because it's going to be more than just observing nature, right? There's going to be some more personal application here.
Absolutely. The article mentions some practical ways that people have tapped into this balance for centuries. Things like meditation, feng shui, tai chi.
Okay, so those aren't just for like monks on a mountaintop then.
Not at all.
Yeah.
These are practices that offer benefits for everyone. Meditation can help calm the mind. Feng shui is about optimizing living spaces for positive energy flow. And then you've got tai chi, which combines movement and mindfulness for both physical and mental well-being.
Right.
It's all about aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms of the universe.
Which, let's be honest, in our crazy, busy lives,
Yeah.
we could all use a little bit more of.
Absolutely.
It's like almost like tapping into an ancient operating system for living a more balanced life. So where does Lao Tzu fit into all of this? Because he's kind of a big deal in the world of Taoism, right? He's considered like the founder of Taoism.
Yeah.
And his book, the Tao Te Ching, that's like the essential Taoism book, right?
It's like the guidebook, right? Think of it as a collection of poems, sayings, all full of wisdom that's both profound but also really practical.
Okay, so if this book's been around for thousands of years, it's still relevant today, though.
Absolutely. In fact, some of the teachings in the Tao Te Ching seem almost tailor-made for the challenges we face in the 21st century.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, take, for instance, the concept of wu wei,
Okay.
often translated as non-action or effortless action. But it's a bit more nuanced than that.
Yeah, because when I hear non-action, I think like just sit around and do nothing. Which in our world today doesn't seem very helpful.
Right, right. It's not about being passive. It's more about understanding when to act and when to let go, when to push forward, when to yield. Imagine a surfer riding a wave. They're not forcing the wave. They're moving with it, using its power to their advantage. That's more like Wu Wei.
Okay, so it's like finding that sweet spot where your actions are aligned with how things are naturally flowing.
Exactly. And that, I think, is so relevant to our modern lives, where we're constantly bombarded with these messages telling us to do more, be more, achieve more.
It's exhausting. It's
Yeah.
no wonder people feel so burnt out all the time.
Right? Taoism reminds us that there's another way. There's a way of living in greater harmony with ourselves and the world around us.
And the article talks about how Taoism emphasizes sustainability. So how does that fit in with everything?
What Taoism sees humanity as a part of nature, not separate from it.
Okay.
We're all interconnected. Our actions have consequences. Living sustainably then becomes about more than just protecting the environment. It's about preserving the delicate balance of the Tao.
Yeah, it's like that saying, we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children.
Exactly. And just as Taoism emphasizes this harmony with nature, it also offers these incredible insights into cultivating mental and emotional well-being as well.
Something I think we could all use a little bit more of these days. I mean, between the pressure of work, the constant news cycle, social media, it's a lot.
It is, and many of the principles of Taoism, like finding that balance, embracing simplicity, cultivating inner peace, they offer an antidote to the stress and anxiety that's so prevalent in modern life.
Absolutely.
Practices like meditation, for example. They're not just some trendy ways to relax. They're ancient techniques for stilling the mind and connecting with something deeper.
So it's about finding that inner stillness amidst all the chaos.
Precisely. And that's where the wisdom of Taoism, I think, can be so powerful. It gives us the tools and perspectives to navigate life's ups and downs, the inevitable ups and downs, with more grace and resilience.
You know, this is making me think about other Eastern philosophies. Things like Confucianism, Buddhism. How do they all relate to each other? Because it seems like there's some overlapping ideas there.
Yeah, definitely. It's like they each offer a different piece of the puzzle when it comes to understanding this whole human experience, right? Like Confucianism, for instance. That focuses more on social harmony and ethical conduct.
Okay.
It's about creating a just and ordered society.
So while Taoism is about finding that balance within yourself and with nature, Confucianism is more about finding balance within society.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And then you've got Buddhism, which shares Taoism's emphasis on mindfulness, living in the present moment. But Buddhism's primary focus is on the path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering.
So it's less about finding balance in this world and more about, like, transcending it.
You could say that, yeah. But ultimately, I think they all offer different paths towards living a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
It's like having a pool box full of different tools for different situations.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the beauty is you don't have to choose just one. You can take inspiration and wisdom from each of these traditions to create your own unique path.
This has been a really fascinating dive into Taoism, but I'm sure some of our listeners are probably thinking, okay, I need to know more. So where would you recommend they start?
Well, if you're interested in Taoism, the Tao Te Ching is a must-read. It's full of these profound wisdom and poetic verses. It can offer some real guidance for living a more harmonious and fulfilling life.
And I imagine for those who might find, like, ancient texts a little daunting, there are more modern interpretations out there too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alan Watts's book, Tao, The Watercourse Way, is a great one. It's a really brilliant exploration of Taoist principles, written in a way that's very accessible and engaging for modern readers.
Okay, I'm adding that to my reading list. Before we get too carried away with book recommendations, let's try to bring this deep dive to a close with a final thought to ponder. So, if Taoism is about aligning with the natural flow of the universe, what does that look like in your life? What would it mean for you to move through the world with a little more wu-wei?
Yeah, that's a question worth, really sitting with for a bit. Maybe it means approaching those challenges we face with a little less resistance.
Right.
A little bit more like, like water flowing around an obstacle.
Ooh.
Or maybe it's about letting go of the need to control every little outcome.
Yeah.
Just trusting in the natural order of things a little bit more.
That's like we've gotten so busy trying to, like, hack life that we've forgotten how to actually just live it.
Maybe that's part of it. But I think, the beauty of Taoism is that it reminds us there's another way. There's a way of being that's both grounded but also expansive, effortless, but also really profound.
I love that. And I think that's a great note to end on. It definitely feels like we've only just like dipped our toes into the vast ocean that is
That's
Taoism.
deep.
But this deep dive, it's given us a lot to sit with and to think about.
For sure. And for those listening who are like, okay, I need to know more, I
Right.
highly recommend checking out the full article, What is Tao? Understand its influence in Chinese culture.
Mhm.
There's some really fascinating insights, practical wisdom in there.
It's a good one. And listen, for anyone who's really intrigued by these Eastern philosophies, don't go anywhere, because in our next episode, we're going to be comparing and contrasting Taoism with two other major traditions, Confucianism and Buddhism.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to look at, these shared values, but then also their very unique perspectives, how they
Mm.
each offer a different lens, through which we can view the world and really our place in it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see how these ancient wisdom traditions, how they converge, how they diverge. It's going
Absolutely.
to be good.
Yeah.
So join us next time as we dive even deeper into this rich tapestry of Eastern thought. Until then, everyone, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking that ever elusive balance in this wild ride we call life. We'll see you on the next deep dive.